Hi guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. In this episode we're going to be working on the 145 again. We are going to be restoring the floor this week. So let's have a look underneath it and remind ourselves of how bad it is. Let's start over on what I think is the worst side. It has had some repairs done here and it's also started rusting again. It's also had quite a large patch there, but as you can see it wasn't very well treated. So what I need to do is wire wheel everything down, including this bit along here, and I think we're going to have a big hole there. I'm going to have to rebuild the side of the sill. But first of all, let's get the wire wheel on the whole floor and see how many holes we can make. Right, goggles and cap on so I can stop getting some crap in my hair as I'm working. So let's just clean up from the back to the front and see how many holes we are left with. Horrible stuff doing this. It's so dusty work. So what I found up here, where he's had some repairs in the past, there is a ton of silicone sealant in there. So let's pull some of this out, and you can see what he's done is he's just plated inside the car and not cut any of the old rust out. I've also done this side. A nice big plate there. None of the rust has been cut out. The plate I've cleaned up here very roughly. We've got a new hole coming in there by the look of it, but that's easily repairable. And on the floor down here, if you can see that, we've got holes all the way down there. Oh, right, just had a wash to get rid of all the dust and dirt off my face. I've cleaned up this part as well. It's not as bad as the other side. I can't get to here just yet because the ramp's in the way. So we've got hole here, but to be honest, by the time I've cleaned this off, there's going to be holes there as well. So I'm probably going to cut it out all the way along, probably back to here. And this side, yeah, I'm going to have a word with the customer what he wants to do, because it's all going to have to be undone. I've got to strip the interior out and have a look at how much of a job he's done welding it on the inside. But as he's done the same on both sides here, it's very much a crappy bodge of a repair. So if at any time you have to get welding done, ask the question of, are they going to cut the old weld out, or are they just going to weld a plate in, which is just stupid. Doing that, you're not stopping the problem, you're just making it worse, because water's going to be all getting in here and it's all going to be rusting underneath it still. This doesn't look like too bad of a job here, but when I take the interior out, is all the old rust going to be the other side of this as well? So the job I need to do now is take the interior out and take the carpet out and see how bad it is on the inside. Hopefully I can just lift the carpet back to the middle of the car, so I haven't got to take the central tunnel out and remove all of the carpet, but at least the seats are going to have to come out. So right, let's get cracking on. Right, yeah, as I thought. He's just welded a plate from the inside. I mean, he's done a good job. But why not just cut that rust out? And then we've got the holes here. So we're going to have to strip the front out as well. I think I'm going to have to get the carpet out as well. There we go, 20p off the customer's bill. There we go. Right, now this looks as though it's been getting wet from the inside. You've got all that which has come off. So, that has been repaired. So why has that gone so bad? Right, I think the best thing to do is remove the rest of this carpet. Or can I get that back there? Right. Nope, we might be alright. Right, that's all disintegrated to mush. So has he just plated everything from the inside and not cut anything away? Right. Yeah, because you can see a big plate's been welded in there as well. Oh, I hate it when people start working on it first and make an absolute mess of stuff. Right, let's clear this crap out of here and I'll have a look around the other side as well. So jump cut to a little bit later on. Right, I have removed the carpet from the entire passenger side and we have moisture in here, lots of it. So I don't think this has really been outside in the entire time it's been stored. So it is a little bit concerning that we've got this moisture here. This sound deadening is no good. It needs ripping out because it is absolutely sodden. So I will have to get something similar to go in there. So that would explain why the car's rusting. So what I need to do now, because this part hasn't been touched, is remove all the wiring loom out of the way. Remove that floor covering down there. It looks like it's been out at some point before because we're missing a bolt off there, but we've got one on there. So yeah, more investigative work needs to be done. What I'm hoping is the water's leaking through the wing mirror seal up there and then down into the car. Right, a bit of an idea where the water might be coming from is if you look there, you can see a line where it looks as though water's been running in. So it could have been coming from the windscreen or the scuttle, which is up behind there where the washers are. It could be leaking in through there, or it could be leaking in through the door seal. So we do need to look into it a little bit more as to what's going on, but I've got to strip things back a little bit more to see what it's like under this sealant. Right, being a busy boy, I've been drilling out the spot welds, cutting out the rust. I've grinded away a little bit more to clean up the area. I've still got some more to do. I can't get to that part on the ramp, so I'm going to do that bit after. Just got to make sure I've lifted all the wires out the way, which I almost have. There's another one here to put it to. Yeah. So then we can safely weld that up. What I've also been doing off camera is I have sandblasted the fuel tank straps and painted them, so they're all done now. I've got some brand new metal to cut out and shape to the part which I've cut out. So let me cut out this metal and then we can start welding it in. Right, just been busy making the patch panel for it, and we're almost there. I do need to just cut out a little bit more there so we can fit it in nicely. Right, okay, you've now got the patch all cut out. I've hammered it into sort of a rough shape to go in there. I'm not a metal worker, so it's not perfect. I've got a little bit of an overlap here, so we can get a good strong weld. Let's just try and pinch this together now. If I can get my hands on it right. Couple of welds here, a couple of welds there, and then I can hammer that up to be flush with the rest, and then I can tack this in last. So I can bring, so what I've had to do, I've had to hammer that across there, and then I'll hammer it back once it is all ready to be welded, and then I can hopefully have a nice straight line. Right, patch is now tacked into place. Leave me to weld this up and I shall see you in a moment. Right, first step is done. Welds are not the prettiest. I will be grinding them down a bit because some of them are a little bit large. So what I need to do now is hammer this seam together and then we can spot weld that. There we go. I have ground down some of these welds a little bit just so they're not huge anymore. As it's the underside of the car, it doesn't really need to look too pretty. Spot welds are all done along here. Again, not the prettiest, but they're all going to be hidden behind some seam sealer like they are originally from the factory. I now need to go to the other side of the car and do a few spot welds from the inside. So it was all done as to factory. Right, what I've done now is I have covered the welding areas and the new metal I've put in something called Omnicoat. This is what I use once I've welded or once I've done any metal work on bare surfaces. This will protect and also convert any rust particles that are there. So once this is dried, I will still give it another coat of acid etch, and then I can put some seam sealer along the joins and back along here to make it look like it did from the factory. So we need to give that a couple of hours to dry now. So join me in a minute when we'll put some acid etch on there. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I've decided to cut this panel out where it was all rusty. And yeah, you can see he's just welded a plate straight over the rust. So what I'm going to try and do now is sort of make it match a little bit better. I'm not going to take his welding out because, you know, he wasn't a bad welder and he's done everything right. He's just cut a corner when it comes to making it right. So if I hammer all these edges over, and then if I weld it from this side as well, it will look one hell of a lot tidier. That's a little bit better. We've got some edges around here which are nice and tight, or we just get a little bit tighter. But the main problem is here, just bending it all over the right way. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more, clean all this rusty area away, and then get welding again. Right, welded all that up now. It's not the best job in the world, but it looks a darn sight better than leaving all that rust there. I do want to just tack that hole up there, which is where the from the factory. So we'll get rid of that now and give some more rust proofing on it, and then we'll move on to the next patch. Final stage is just to cover up this seam here with some seam sealer. Just going to put a nice layer on first and then it'll get smoothed out after. So there we go, guys, all done. I'm going to leave this video here. I am going to be welding the other side off camera because it's going to be all repetitive work as to what I've done on this side. I will also be giving the underbody a coat of stone chip once it's all done. So join me in the next episode when, fingers crossed, we'll either be doing the arch work, because there's probably going to be some welding underneath there, or I'm just going to be taking the engine out. So don't forget to give the video a like, and if you've got this far through the video, please think about subscribing. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.